What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for stopping by the channel today. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is Friday, October 15th, 2021. I am JD from New York, and this is Off the Scripts. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys missed any of the content on the channel this week, including all of the post-show live streams that I've done, make sure you guys check the homepage. Everything you need is listed right there. Remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications, and make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on today's Off the Script Extra. WWE reportedly had issues with Bray Wyatt in concerns to his weight, and source claims Bray was being difficult. I find this story to be absolutely hilarious in every aspect. Let's read into it before I give my opinion, my expert opinion on this, an opinion that you're not going to hear anywhere else because everybody wants to mask what the real issue is. Now, my buddy Andrew Zarian on the McMahon podcast on Thursday reported that WWE felt Bray Wyatt was being quote-unquote difficult and had quote-unquote weight issues. He says, and I quote, "I have some information about his release. I want to be careful with this," Zarian said. "I'm not even going to allude where this news came from or who told me this. I would say that this is probably one of the most legitimate people I've spoken to that would be able to address this situation." Zarian continued, "Bray was being difficult. I'm not going to say much more than that. I'm going to fill in a lot. I'm not going to even quote here because I have the quote in front of me and I don't want to quote it. He was a little difficult. He had some performance issues." BlueChew.com/JD. Anyway. He was being a little difficult and had some performance issues in the ring, and he had some weight issues, and I'm not going to say that's the reason. But you kind of piece things together as to the things when you evaluate a talent and you're like, we need this, we need that, and this is the plan moving forward. Sometimes the decision is easier to make if you make it more difficult for them to make that decision. There's so many different variables. There is no one reason, by the way. Let me put it out there. Financially, yes, there was a financial issue. There were plenty of other scenarios as well. I don't think he was happy, and I would tell you that these decisions are not cut and dry, end quote. Now, it should be noted that friends of Wyatt say that he is healthy and cleared to wrestle. In fact, there were reports that he was cleared to wrestle in WWE, and they had plans for him to be back on television after SummerSlam was over. WWE's public explanation for Wyatt's release was that it was due to budget cuts. Now, while there's a lot of speculation about where Wyatt will end up, a lot of people end up saying that he will be with AEW when the end of the year comes to. And Tony Khan even said this week that he has not spoken to Wyndham Rotunda. We actually went over this in yesterday's extra, that I don't think Tony Khan is contractually obligated to talk or contractually able to talk to Wyndham until his 90-day non-compete with WWE is actually up on October 30th, which, by my estimation, is in a couple of weeks. Now, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez previously reported that Wyatt's likely landing spot is Impact Wrestling, which I find to be equally as hilarious as WWE reportedly having issues with his weight and that he was being difficult. He's not going to Impact Wrestling. Why would somebody like that go to Impact Wrestling and do what he does in front of nobody? I'm not saying Impact is a bad product. I'm just saying that nobody gives a shit about Impact Wrestling. And if Wyndham goes over there, it's going to be the same thing. Nobody's going to watch Impact Wrestling for specifically Wyndham Rotunda. And if Wyndham goes over there, whatever he's doing will be seen by nobody. Now, there is a lot in regards to the AEW talk. Tony Khan was actually interviewed again by the New York Post. He's been all over the place. He was on WFAN here in New York. He was interviewed by the New York Post. And little by little, he's only saying what he needs to in this moment. But, I mean, if you really look at the demeanor in which Tony Khan gives you when he's talking about this and the words and the runarounds that he usually does when he's asked these questions, it pretty much indicates that he will be talking to him when he is contractually able to talk to him. And if he is able to sign him, he wants him in AEW. He's not going to Impact Wrestling. I don't think Wyndham wants to end up in Impact Wrestling, and I don't think Tony Khan would really allow Wyndham to end up in Impact Wrestling. Tony Khan says this to the New York Post. I really like Wyndham. I know a little bit about him, and I really enjoy him. The last time I saw him was at Chris Jericho's birthday party, and that was a long time ago. I like him as a person very much, and he's really a talented person. At the right time and right place, sure, I'd be interested to talk to him. I'm interested to talk to him in general because he's a great person. End quote. In so many words, Wyndham is wanted by Tony Khan. And it's on his mind, and he's not able to say much of anything, and he's not going to reveal anything in regards to what he's thinking about Wyndham Rotunda. Now, the part that I find funny in all of this is WWE reportedly had issues with Bray Wyatt's weight, and sources claim that Bray was being difficult. This is pretty much the simplest way for WWE to put it out there to the dirt sheets and deflect any blame that anybody has in regards to this situation. This is a way for WWE to deflect anything coming back to the company in regards to letting this man go. This is pretty much WWE wiping their hands clean. We had to let him go. It wasn't just budget cuts. It was that this guy was difficult to work with, and this guy, listen, he didn't fit our mold about what we want a superstar to look like. This is WWE saying, yeah, it's pretty much his fault and not ours, so please don't look at us and blame us. That's all that this means to me. And I find it funny how WWE thinks the fans are this stupid, how WWE thinks that the fans are going to blame Wyndham and not blame them. Let's take a step back in this Wyndham Rotunda situation. The Fiend debuts at SummerSlam. Whose fault was it that he was put into a world title match 1 month after this character debuted? And let's be real, folks. Wyndham debuted with such hype as The Fiend that it was nearly impossible for this man to go into Hell in a Cell and lose that World Championship match against Seth Rollins. What did WWE do? They booked the match, ruined the Hell in a Cell structure even more so than it was already ruined Rollins, ruined The Fiend, and they turned Rollins into a heel and Bray into a babyface because WWE sucks creatively. They rushed to do something that wasn't even in the infant stages yet. Why are we giving Bray a world championship opportunity after 1 month already debuting a new character on the main roster? It was your fault that this man had to debut a new character because you fucked up his old character. Then WWE gives him the world championship in Saudi Arabia. He holds it for a couple of months. We get to February of the next year. He loses to Bill Goldberg, and the character from that point on was absolutely fucking dead. It never recovered, no matter how many times a fucking Bray Wyatt stan wants to cry to me, or, oh, JD is negative, he's clueless, he works from his mother's basement, all he does is yell, he does this, he does that. Motherfucker, I am the truth. You don't like what the fuck you're hearing? It's because it fucking hurts. That's why. Bray was dead in Saudi Arabia. If you look very closely and you send a fucking team of archaeologists out there, you might find his remains out there somewhere in the fucking desert. Dead. He never recovered. Goldberg held the championship. Roman Reigns backed out of WrestleMania. It was supposed to be Roman versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. Thank God that didn't fucking happen. WWE goes to their plan F in failure in Braun Strowman. He wins the championship by some random stroke of luck. He holds the championship, does nothing with it. After 4 fucking months that WWE books Wyndham, The Fiend, and Braun Strowman, 4 months of storylines because they had a cup of coffee together in the Wyatt family. Yeah, let's drag this shit out. WWE couldn't even get a 4-month storyline out of Braun Strowman and The Fiend. So much so that they had to go back and bring Bray Wyatt back as the Eater of Worlds, do a fucking cinematic swamp match for him to win the championship, only for Wyndham to drop the championship back to Roman because Roman's now ready to come back to work after the pandemic was nearing, I don't want to say an end, but it was good enough for him to come back. He wins the world championship, and Wyndham is officially dead as The Fiend. They tried to do whatever they did with Alexa Bliss. They put him in a feud with Randy Orton. There's fire, there's magic, there's puppets, there's this, there's that. They ruined the whole fucking character. I just explained to you the timeline of Bray Wyatt as The Fiend in WWE, and it's absolutely pathetic that that is what people are going to remember about Wyndham Rotunda. And you know what? We all love Wyndham. We all love The Fiend. I love the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. That was a winner. That is where he should have succeeded. WWE killed that. After he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania 30, he was dead. He won the world championship. What did they do? They took it right off of him and put it on Randy Orton, only for Orton to drop it to fucking Jinder Mahal. Dead. Dead. They didn't give a shit about this guy from day fucking one. So please tell me that WWE is now blaming Bray Wyatt for being difficult. Really? You don't blame the fucking man for being difficult after you killed him not once, but twice? I would be difficult as well. He comes back in a resurgence under this new gimmick. Everybody's talking about him. He's the hottest thing in professional wrestling. And you don't expect him to be difficult when after day one at SummerSlam, this guy was fucking ruined beyond repair. Vince seen it. He's seen dollar signs. Vince is a control freak. He took over legitimately everything. All focus about Wyndham and where he wanted to take this character is now in the hands of Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon. Ultimately, Bray's vision was no more. Anything that Bray wanted to do, any direction in which Bray wanted to travel was dead. Finished. Now Vince McMahon controls everything. Vince is going to control how he operates. Vince is going to control what the Firefly Funhouse looks like. Vince is going to control how he wrestles and performs in the ring. Dead. You don't expect this man to be fucking difficult? This was a winning act that Vince ultimately killed on the main roster because of greed and because of Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard being control freaks and them thinking that they know what is right. This is why AEW is attractive to so many people in the industry. Because no matter what you think of AEW, they allow wrestlers to perform. They allow wrestlers to, I don't know, wrestle? The creative freedoms that exist in AEW, as long as it's being monitored, and Tony Khan is a mentor to the roster and talent, and everything goes through him, it's going to be fine. It is going to be fine. As long as he is there to right the ship and captain the ship, everything is going to be fine. Tony Khan is in a position where he needs to start saying yes and no. It needs to be end all be all with him. But give the wrestlers freedom to do what they need to do. Get over. Go out there. Do what you got to do. Have fun and do what I tell you to do. That's it. That's it. You can have creative reigns over your character. Let me approve it. Let me go over it. If I don't like it, we'll rework it and blah, blah, blah. That's it. Meanwhile, Bray Wyatt, he has a vision. Vince is like, no. We need to do this. And whatever you had brought to the table, the mask and this and that and all this other shit, I'm in control now. That's exactly what it ended up being. You don't think Bray being difficult was warranted? You don't think this man went through severe fucking depression knowing that this guy's body of work was being ruined by 70-year-old out-of-touch degenerates like Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon, which would ultimately lead to the other thing that they're blaming him about, and that's being a weight gain. You don't think this guy went fucking home and sat alone thinking about what if? Gaining weight, losing interest because you took over everything. You don't think this is a natural human emotion? You don't think that's what this guy went through? You don't think this guy suffered severe amounts of depression after you sent him to Saudi Arabia to lose to Goldberg in 3 fucking minutes, ultimately killing this man's character? Yeah, but let's blame Wyndham for all the reasons why he got released. Let's blame him. You got to be out of your fucking mind if you look at this story and think WWE has any given right to say what they said here. You got to be a complete blithering idiot if you're placing blame on Wyndham Rotunda. WWE took this character and not only killed the essence of the character and everything about it, but they sent this guy in the ring to do everything but wrestle. So his performance is also a reason why they're letting this man go. A performance issue? Well, I don't know. If you put him in the fucking ring to not do fire and magic and red lighting and all this other fucking bullshit that you ruined the character with, I don't know. Maybe he'd fucking wrestle. Do you guys realize that this man wrestled Daniel Bryan not once but twice on WWE television? And in every instance, that match was great. Even as The Fiend. In that strap match at the Royal Rumble. Before that, the 2014 Royal Rumble, where Bryan and Wyatt wrestled, and Wyatt beat Daniel Bryan. The man can go. He won the WWE Championship against AJ Styles and John Cena. He beat them not only at the Elimination Chamber the night he won the championship, but he beat them in a triple threat match the following SmackDown. The guy can wrestle, but you gotta work with them to bring out the best in him. Let him be free. If you let this man be free and let him do what he needed to do, not only would he have been happier, but he would have made you money. And the spotlight would have been on WWE. Look at how great Bray Wyatt is. Look at how great WWE is as a company for giving this guy creative freedom. We don't usually see it all that often. It's a breath of fresh air. And additionally, if people saw that, from the outside looking in, it would actually say, you know what? Maybe WWE's turning over a new leaf. They're giving Wyndham all this freedom to do whatever he needs to do. Maybe I'll explore going to WWE because that's where I want to go. And I don't want to really go there if they're going to handcuff me and not allow me to be me. So you'd be working all these positives. But WWE doesn't do that. They don't give a shit about any of that. They ruined this guy to a point where he was forced to be difficult because you changed everything about him and you drove him into fucking depression. Weight gain? That should be the least of your fucking concerns. He can change that around in fucking 1 month if he wanted to. Now his friends and family are saying he looks great, he's cleared, he's ready to go. Now what's your problem? You're going to regret the decision when he goes somewhere else and does what he should have been doing for you? WWE sucks. At the end of the day, I wish nothing but success for this man anywhere else he goes. And whoever gets him is going to be better off for it. Fuck WWE. WWE is also very aware that they have too many 40-year-olds on the roster. I don't know when age became such a fucking... You do realize that AJ Styles is, what is he, 43 years old? Would you actively go out there and start complaining about 40 years old or 40-year-old wrestlers knowing that you are employing AJ Styles? No, but you don't have no fucking problem bringing Bill Goldberg back to wrestle, though, right? Which we have to suffer through 3 more fucking times. Give me a fucking break with this nonsense. WWE realizes that there's too many 40-year-olds on the roster. They're looking to push new talent. It was reported several weeks ago that the idea behind NXT 2.0 is to appeal to the younger demographic, which they're not, because the show still sucks. Appeal to the younger demographic because the previous version of NXT skewed the fans that they were going in a right direction, but it did nothing but appeal to 50-year-olds. They always got A .30 in the 50-plus demographic. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Am I supposed to blame Paul Levesque for that one? You took this guy's obviously cool brand. Everybody wanted to be a part of WWE as long as NXT was operating like Triple H was doing with NXT. And then you fucking killed it. It was cool, and now it's not. It was cool because youthful fucking people were running the show. Now you got Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon running the fucking show, which I'll get to in a second because I find it hilarious that people don't think Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon are running creative in NXT. Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Live that WWE is well aware that the main roster has too many names over 40. Bobby Lashley, Goldberg, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Brock Lesnar. Cena comes back. He's in his 40s. Several other top guys are over 40 as well, but the last few weeks, it's clear that there is a push in NXT to groom wrestlers to be future main event WrestleMania headlines. Now, Meltzer says this, and I quote, "There are very much in awareness that WWE is trending a lot on the roster in the 40-plus demographic as far as age is concerned." Meltzer says they are very much cognizant of the idea that they got a lot of 40-year-olds on the main roster, and that's one of the reasons why NXT has changed so much. They feel that they can get some guys in their 20s and get them ready for the main roster. They are aware. It's not like they are in denial. I think that they are blaming the old wrestlers. Whereas, in fact, WWE was loaded with guys in their 30s. Not necessarily 40, but they let guys like Bronson Reed go. 32 years old. Adam Cole, they let go without even a fucking sniff of wanting this guy back. 32 years old. You fucking serious? You're going to let Adam Cole walk out of your company at 32 years old and people say he is the next HBK. Are you serious about that? Do you realize what you've done? You let go of a future WrestleMania main event guy. But the reason why they let him go is because Vince McMahon was not a part of the Adam Cole growth process. He didn't want Adam Cole. He didn't think Adam Cole was worthy enough because he was a Triple H and Shawn Michaels project. He wasn't a Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard project. That's why he was let go. I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Same thing with Bronson Reed. You think Bronson Reed was let go because, oh my God, this guy sucks? No, he was let go because he was a Triple H project. Bronson Reed even came out and said that Triple H and Shawn Michaels stated in a closed locker room environment that changes are coming to NXT and it's all being done by Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. And Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon changed everything. Bronson Reed's not lying. Bronson Reed even stated that Triple H gave him plans to hold that North American title well into next year. So please tell me how Triple H was a part of the removal process of Bronson Reed. Bullshit. He had nothing to do with the removal of Bronson Reed from WWE. Now, as noted earlier, one of the reasons why Santos Escobar, I mentioned this on Tuesday. Why is Santos Escobar not moving up the ladder in WWE? What is it? What is the problem there? Meltzer apparently mentioned in regards to Santos Escobar why he wasn't called up to the main roster and why Hit Row, instead of Legado del Fantasma, made it to the main roster. It's because of his age. Santos Escobar is 37 years old. He's not big. He's not young. He's 37 years old. He's everything that Vince McMahon would want on the main roster. He's Hispanic. He speaks great English. He looks fantastic. He is a fucking fantastic pro wrestler. But what's the problem? Nobody can figure it out. Why is Santos Escobar getting the short end of the stick? Oh, that's right. He's 37 years old. Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are punishing Santos Escobar because he's 37 years old. Brian Alvarez even stated this. I guess he's not 7 feet tall, but he's also not 5'2". He's not a short guy. So what's the problem? You're going to let somebody like this go and not use him because of his age? Meanwhile, this guy has a license to print money if you know how to book him correctly. It's amazing. The denial from WWE as far as talent is concerned and the neglect on this talent. It's sickening. It is absolutely sick. Why not make money in the time you got them instead of getting rid of them without even giving them an opportunity to try? Santos Escobar, as far as I'm concerned, amazing talent. One of my favorites in WWE. Dead. I have no faith in WWE. The fact that I didn't give this guy the North American Championship and went with Carmelo fucking Hayes, that's the writing on the wall. That's all I need. He will go nowhere. And he's already peaked in NXT, and he's not on the main roster. He'll never make it to the main roster. He'll be on 205 Live for the duration. But this is where WWE's mindset is at. That's them. Yeah, but this is the company that everybody wants to fucking, praise. All the e-shills online want to praise WWE. You do realize that this is the bane of their existence, their mentality, their management leadership. What a joke. A fucking joke. Santos Escobar should already be on the main roster and should be in the upper mid-card of WWE. If you can't get great matches out of this guy with everybody on that main roster, you are clearly not doing something right. And you hate professional wrestling, which we already know they do. NXT 2.0 star Cameron Grimes is getting a makeover. Cameron Grimes is getting a new look. This is a Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard initiative. On this week's show, we got Grayson Waller now working a program. If you don't know who that is, I don't blame you. Grayson Waller gave Cameron Grimes some tips on how to find a woman, because Bruce Prichard knows how to find a woman, right? Waller told him that he just needed to shave his chest and trim his beard and he could find a girl. WrestlingNews.co heard a couple of weeks ago that the reason why Grimes was not moved up to Raw and SmackDown, even though he is ready, just like LA Knight. No, but shit, Rowe got called up. The reason why Grimes was not moved up to Raw and SmackDown is because Vince McMahon wanted to make change to the presentation of his character. Grimes is getting a makeover in the coming weeks on NXT television, and on social media, WWE's been asking fans for dating app advice for Cameron Grimes. So let's get this out in the open, folks. Cameron Grimes is a country boy, millionaire playboy, right? He can't do the millionaire playboy gimmick because that is reserved for Happy Corbin. Can't have two of the same gimmick on the main roster, so Vince McMahon is going to change that, number one. Cameron Grimes is also a Triple H project. So they're changing that because Triple H and Cameron Grimes, he was a part of the old NXT. That's got to go. Forget about it. Everything Triple H did, goodbye, in the trash. Number two. Number three, you look at Cameron Grimes and you see what Vince McMahon is attracted to as far as a pro wrestler's physique. Is Cameron Grimes going to be up there on the list of priorities for Vince McMahon? You see this guy with his top hat, and you see this guy with his fucking beard, and you see this guy with fucking hairy chest and all this other shit. That chest hair is gone. The beard is gone. Cameron Grimes, in so little words here, is on his way to a burial. Burial. He's dead. Everything that Cameron Grimes is and everything that we find appealing about Cameron Grimes and everything we loved about Cameron Grimes and the charisma and the look and everything, how that translated and was rolled into a beautiful package on NXT TV, it's going to be no more. Cameron Grimes, as far as I'm concerned, by this news report and all of the possibilities that are coming as far as change is concerned with him, dead. I want to see this guy after the changes are in place. I want to see how this guy lasts on NXT TV. Finished. This is Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. The change is killing NXT week by week. Even Sean Waltman has said so. Slammed Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard for running NXT 2.0. He spoke on his Pro Wrestling for Life podcast, and Sean Waltman talked about the NXT 2.0 brand and criticized the brand for having 60-year-olds in charge, leading the younger audiences to become disinterested in the product. Who's in charge of the creative direction of NXT? You can't have 60-plus-year-old people in charge of the creative direction on a show that is geared towards younger people. Maybe oversee it, but you got to let the young, fresh blood make those decisions. We got to be self-aware enough to know that we don't, and I'm including me as well, as a 50-year-old man, We don't fucking know what the young people want. We might think we do, or we might think that we know what's best for them, but we don't fucking know. We need we need to listen to these fucking people and find interest in what they like. End quote. So Sean Waltman is pretty much admitting, with all the reports out there that Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon are not running NXT, pretty much, he stated it in so many words, 60-year-old people in charge of NXT, that is Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. I find it hilarious how people do not think that these two men are in charge of creative and that everybody behind the scenes are simply there to take orders and execute on the words of Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. Watch the show. Watch the show. All NXT is, it's a mirror image of Monday Night Raw. Opens the show with a fucking promo. It ends the show with a fucking 10-minute or so match. Sometimes you get a match that starts the show like we saw on Tuesday with Ciampa and Joe Gacy, 10-minute match, and then we get a 10-minute match in the end with Santos Escobar and Swerve. Everything else in the middle did not eclipse 3 minutes. Typical Monday Night Raw formula. That's the old formula of NXT. That's the formula of Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom and William Regal and Sarah Amato, right? That's the fucking formula that they were operating on all those years ago when NXT was the hottest thing in pro wrestling, right? Bullshit. Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are in charge, and nobody can convince me otherwise, man. Fuck your check marks, and fuck your goddamn paywall reports. You don't need a fucking paywall here, man. Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon are absolutely in charge. Fuck your reports on Triple H is still in charge of the day-to-day. No, he's not. He's in charge on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He's not in charge on Tuesday. He's not in charge when they get to that arena and the script is being written. No, he's not. Watch the show. Everything that is old NXT is on its way out. Ciampa, out. Grimes, out. LA Knight, out. Johnny Gargano, out. Adam Cole's already out, baby. Everything about the old NXT is dead. You're seeing it more and more every single week. When Braun Breaker wins that title on Halloween Havoc Tuesday, it's all over. Sean Waltman admitted that Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are running creative in NXT. And he would know. He would know. Of all people, he would know. Tony Khan is discussing potential AEW streaming deals for their content library. This is a big deal. AEW airs its content across various platforms and have traditional TV and pay-per-view through Fight TV, YouTube, and more. The only thing the promotion is missing is a streaming platform similar to WWE on Peacock so fans around the world can catch old events on demand. This was something AEW President Tony Khan was asked about while speaking to Brandon Walker on Wrestling. This, I believe, was with Barstool Sports, maybe, I believe. So he says this, and I quote, "I'm talking to great people about Warner Media and AEW partnering. I think there are great opportunities. I work with one of the biggest media companies in the world, and they have a lot of great ideas. Hopefully, we can make a solution for the fans. And believe me, I get asked this question every day. I'm trying to build the library up. We've done over 100 episodes of Dynamite, pay-per-views, streaming specials. I have something nobody has ever seen before with the house always wins." End quote. This is going to be a big deal, man. And this was a house show. The House Always Wins was a house show that was held this past April at Daly's Place in Jacksonville that saw top stars such as Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes, MJF, Eddie Kingston, and more. I believe it was on a Friday during WrestleMania weekend in Jacksonville, and Tony Khan gave that to only people who were there in Jacksonville and wanted to make the drive from Tampa, which is 3 hours, to Jacksonville to go watch that show instead of doing the typical WWE thing that weekend. So he has that. He's got ideas. And HBO Max is a great platform for AEW to really find as its home. Now, I don't know how much sports they have on HBO Max, but I know they have some sit-down documentaries and some sit-down talk shows about sports. I don't know how much of the live sport atmosphere they actually give on HBO Max, but if AEW wants to do HBO Max, which is owned by Time Warner, that would be a great deal. Amazon, Netflix, The world is Tony Khan's oyster here. He can do whatever he wants. He's producing a great product that is catching a lot of fire and is now being requested, more and more every single month. Every single signing, every single month, they continue to get hot. It's going to be in the eyes and ears of a lot of different people. And Tony Khan is already setting himself up for a multi-million dollar TV rights extension with TNT. So who's to say that at that same time, he's not going to go and do this for AEW, making them even more money? And then I want to see all the people continue to say AEW is failing or they're failure. I can't wait for them to close shop. Tony Khan is taking this company to places that we have only dreamed of as far as WWE finally getting competition. A great thing. And Tony Khan is leading them in the right direction. Guys, I'm getting out of here. That's all I got for you. This is the final extra of the entire weekend. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, I am not here. There's no off the script. There's no live stream for Rampage, SmackDown, and Dynamite on Saturday. And I will be away for the rest of the weekend. I will be back on Monday, live on YouTube for Monday Night Raw and the post show, guys. I hope you all have a great weekend. This is why I did all these extras for you. In the meantime, I wanted to give you guys content. I wanted to be on top of the news. Hopefully, I did an admirable job, and hopefully you don't miss me too much. Don't go abandon me and go watch somebody else. I will be right back on Monday with the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off the Script from the OTS venue. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications and go check out all the other videos if you missed anything all week. That's where the content will be on the homepage right there for you until I get back on Monday, guys. Have a great weekend. Go Braves. I don't know who they're playing. I know the Giants and the Dodgers are playing on Friday afternoon. I don't know the results of the game yet, but go Braves in game one, and hopefully the NLCS to follow. Until then, guys, I'll see you on Monday right back here on Monday Night Raw.